just give a minute and there. We're sure we have a quorum now.
We do have a quorum.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Finally.
Yeah.
Quarterly meetings.
Ready to rock and roll, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. It is 12:10. And let's go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Staff, if we can have roll call, please.
Agent Trevino? George Narvaez? Omar Gonzalez?
Yep.
Jose Angel Lopez?
Present.
Rodolfo Rodriguez? Elizabeth Alonso Villarreal? Present. Robert Gilpin?
Present.
Jose D. Gonzalez?
Present.
Hector Cortez?
Present.
All right, we have a quorum.
Thank you. I don't know, I think it is proper, and legal counsel's not here, but for those members that are not here, should we make a motion to excuse them? Can I entertain a motion to excuse?
Motion.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Gonzalez, second by Ms. Villarreal. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to item 4, the minutes. And before we make a motion to approve or not approve, I did notice that now we have the comments on the citizen comments. I guess that's required by either city ordinance or by statute somehow. It's good that we have that disclosed. I know that we don't have anyone in attendance here to make citizen comments. And I guess if they were to do that, then I haven't read through this whole thing. It would have to be specifically on items that are on the agenda and nothing outside of that. At least that's the way we handle it at the county. So I just wanted to make a comment towards that. It's good that staff is putting that in there. Okay, so the minutes are attached to your agenda
From April 10th.
from April 10th. Well, you're right. It has been a while.
Yes, sir.
And then right at the bottom, by the way, we have a new director.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I just have a question on the minutes where it's the roll call, board member absent. So were these members excused or they were just marked absent?
You know, I guess we need to go back to the minutes. Ashley, do you recall we made a motion?
Yes, in the bottom, it says motion first by Jose D. Gonzalez and Hector Cortez second.
Yes, but that just says motion, not
Yeah, but
motion to
did we
excuse.
Excuse or
the-
unexcused, yeah.
Like we did 2 minutes ago to
Yeah.
Did you bring a note,
Excuse
Judd?
Well, I know that you were out of town, that's why.
Mr. Chairman, we'll check it and we'll let you know.
Oh, yeah,
We
Yeah,
have-
we'll just we'll check
Mostly
it.
it
We're all
must have been-
chiefs here. We can write our own notes.
Must have been
Yeah.
excuse nomás.
And we can watch the video now on YouTube.
Yeah,
Go
go
back.
back. I want to say we probably did because
usually
I
do.
brought it up today, but I know we've done it in the
Yeah.
past.
Most of the time we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll check with you.
And at no point would we even report that they're not excused in the future report. That's never been done, so.
Okay.
But from here on, I guess if I miss it, remind me,
Yeah.
just make sure we always do that action.
No problem.
If there's no other comments or objections, if I can.
But how are we gonna handle that? We just like we said, or are we gonna, for these particular ones, so they're both here, to excused or unexcused?
Well, I called in, I was out of town.
Well, we can't take action on a previous agenda
Right.
already that's been.
I think you would just need to
closed
go
out.
back and look
Yeah.
at it, but
Yeah,
I
we'll go
guess
back
from
and
now
look at
on-
it, and if we need to bring it back
Correct.
just for that
Yeah.
particular date, we'll let you know.
I'm almost positive that we did.
Yeah, most
That
of the
we
time we
did.
do.
Normally, yeah.
Alejandro,
Yeah.
could you inquire with legal counsel if, since you bring up a good point, we're gonna do the approval on the minutes, could we amend the minutes to also, not amend the minute, but include in our motion to excuse?
They're both here, actually.
Yeah, and I
But
think-
I don't know that we didn't do that,
Yeah.
so I don't wanna take that action right now, but we can maybe do it in the future.
We'll look at the video, and if we have to consult with legal department, we'll let you
As
know.
far as I'm concerned, I'm not concerned about it, but, we can get into that practice.
Right. No, we'll
Cover
check
all
with
our
them.
bases.
And I'll touch it.
Make a motion with review to those 2 items, but, to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, first by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Cortez. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Okay, Alejandro, I'll turn it over to you for staff reports.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. banking report. It looks pretty good. All the numbers are on the positive side. If you see the all scheduled airlines, we are 7.5 plus and 8.5 and 8.85. But all the numbers on the employments and the plane.
None of them have a negative or, I guess, a decrease,
No,
right?
they all decrease.
They're all competitive.
One of the factors on American and United has been the immigrants. We've been getting a lot of immigrants here that been there from when they're released.
Mhm.
They come here to the airport and they're buying a ticket. So the last, correct me if I'm wrong, on the last 2 or 3 months, we were United and American flights were full all
Really?
the time.
And
because of
these
the
are
immigrants.
immigrants that I guess have permission
They
to be
were
here, I would
released,
imagine.
they were
Oh, they're
released by the CBP or ICE, and they were here at the terminal. A family member or somebody purchased them an airplane
Yeah.
ticket, and those flights were
I'm curious because they're flying inside the States, right? We don't have flights to Mexico, so.
No,
No,
it's,
no, they're
Inside the
going,
States,
they're
stay
waiting,
here.
they're waiting
Here.
for their appointment, sign of
They're-
appointment.
Oh,
They're
so they have permission to
They have permission to
stay.
stay for 6 months or
Yeah.
whatever the time frame it takes to get to
So
court.
if you see, for example, on American, on the May and June is plus 16%, plus 13% on the payments.
Mhm.
And if you see United, is almost the same thing.
I
There's a
got
big
you.
jump on May and June, on
Yeah.
April, 18%, see? But now it's normal, it's going back to normal activity, so.
Well, that's good. It helped the staff.
It helped,
so-
it helped us, yes.
And then your employment revenue
Mhm.
and all that stuff,
Right.
so.
And Allegiant is doing good. The summer trip, the summer flight has been already done. They
Yeah.
used to have one additional one on Tuesdays. They were flying Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays, but now it's going back only to Thursdays and Sundays.
The United and American's pricing has also come down a bit. If you do it, I've noticed,
Yeah.
I always check just in case, it's like, oh, it's not worth it. But it's come down quite a bit. If you do it,
Yes.
like.
In advance.
In advance,
Yeah.
it's substantially.
So
what
if you
it
look
used
at
to
the,
be.
yeah, if you look at all the schedules, pues we're plus 7.5 and plus 8.5. So.
Good. I just have two things out, and just real brief on, the first one was on I know that staff was negotiating with a specific airline that I have no knowledge of, or I don't think none of us do. How are those negotiations going? Any updates on that
For
topic?
the Mexican flight.
The Mexican flight to Mexico or Monterrey, I'm not even too sure what the route
Mexico
is.
City.
The Mexican airline flight, the
Uh-huh.
Mexico City flight,
Yes. I believe so.
it's we're negotiating, but right now it's kind of on a hold.
In the back burner, so to speak.
Well, yes, it's on a hold.
I know they had us on a commitment where they were trying to provide some kind of funding, but that was with the last city management.
Right.
So they traded off. I know LC was trying to continue dialogue, but
Right.
I don't know if they went forward because they were expecting a deadline to sit there and say, hey, we want to answer by this weekend. And I think LC stalled them, but I don't know where it's
Yeah,
at
right now, we talking to this Mexican airline, but it's right there on hold right now.
And-
Before I forget, Mr. Chairman, and forgive me for not saying this, but for the record, the new airport director, Jeff Miller, and Elsie Borsted are in Querétaro, Mexico. They are attending a aerospace summit this week.
Mhm.
They left yesterday, Tuesday, and they're gonna come back, return on Friday afternoon.
Okay.
But right now, the new airport director, Jeff Miller, and Elsie are over there. That's why they are not attending this board meeting. That's what we're handling. That's just FYI for your information.
I guess once we get to the last item, let's see here. Actually, it's not, but we'll request it at the end as far as a report maybe from the new director on, I'd like to touch on that subject more, maybe directly from him, because
Okay.
he might have a different perspective on the approach
A
now
report
that
on
he's in
what
charge.
transpired from this
Yeah,
aerospace summit?
and what his plan is regarding the Mexican flights.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because now that Mr. Miller's here, things may change as far as he may have
Different approach.
a different approach, maybe he's got other contacts, you know, maybe leverage or something that he's gonna be able to do to
Okay,
push that.
we'll
that,
inform Mr. Miller that, through for the next,
A status
meeting.
report on the.
Status report on the Mexican flight, on the
Right.
Mexico City flight.
Direct flights from
Direct
Laredo
flight
to
from
Mexico.
Laredo.
Or any other destination that would be,
Well, there's an item right now that we're gonna talk later on,
Okay.
that it refers to additional flights.
very good. And then I had another point, and I kind of lost the tip of my tongue regarding all this stuff here.
Got a question about
Go ahead, Judge,
negotiations.
because I forgot my point.
Do you guys have ongoing negotiations with any big commercial deals? I've heard a couple rumored. Is that something y'all,
Regarding,
just like, one of them I heard about, for example, was a hub for Amazon. Is that just,
I'm not aware of it, I don't know.
any stuff like that on the horizon? Do y'all have any dealings with people that are big like that?
In the airport or?
Yeah, just people that are interested in citing themselves here.
Well, we
Interesting
are
us.
gonna go out on RFPs for, two sites on the west side for, airport development. It could be an FBO, it could be an MRO, it's a maintenance and repair of all, company operations, that's what we're gonna go out.
That's what would be limited to that side.
It will be limited right now because we have demolished 3 buildings, were old buildings from the Laredo Air Force Base. We have demolished the building, now the property is vacant, and then we're gonna go out on RFPs to whoever wants to, submit a proposal for aeronautical related operations.
Gotcha.
And it has to be within those areas. And basically, right now we have 2 FBOs, we have Marker, and we have Signature. You know, the more the merrier, the more competition, the better, but I don't know if we're gonna get another FBO, or maybe somebody else.
On big cargo terminals, is there a lot of room left, or is that?
We are working on that. We have plenty of space for a big cargo terminal, especially here on the east side. Like where FedEx is, we can accommodate a big cargo operation there. It's a matter of just the development, developing additional infrastructure.
Do you guys have a master plan that maybe you could share
Yes,
with us?
we do have a master plan. It's, we can share it for whoever need it. I believe the master plan, if I'm not mistaken, it's on the website, on the City Laredo, Fly Laredo on Texas.com.
On your website specifically,
I
or in
think, I need
general?
to check on that,
Okay.
because, that's, if not, well, that's a public record, that we can provide you a copy.
Great, thanks.
Actually, it would be convenient to, you know, if the city manager wants to have it, you know, somewhere, and one place would be to have it in the airport
Right.
website specifically. I mean,
We'll-
because I think
we'll-
that's, anybody that wants to look at it, they're gonna go
They're
straight to
gonna go to the
the Laredo International Airport website. And I only say that because I know that happens like at the county where we have some documents. For example, like the procurement stuff, they have me on, when you go to the link, they'll show purchasing agent, you can go directly, or they'll have some of the stuff on the main page. But if you go to purchasing, my specific link, everything's there too. So just an idea.
It might be kind of neat to get a presentation from the new director, maybe not at the next meeting if he hasn't been here long enough, but say at a future meeting, just talking about the master plan, making sure we all understand.
We can make a presentation.
Yes, to the
we can do
committee,
that.
so we can.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Tomorrow.
On the, probably not on the next, maybe we can do it on the next
Yeah, whenever.
operation, or
Seems like a good
give us
thing.
a couple.
I guess you leave it, I would say, up to Mr. Miller, but that it be within the next 2 meetings at
Mhm.
minimum.
Within the
Yeah.
next 2 meetings, master plan presentation to the airport advisory board, yes. We'll
That
work
way,
on it.
it'll be fair to him to. have some
Right,
time
then
to
we'll just
prepare.
present it like a bullet. I mean, the master plan is this thick. I mean, you don't wanna go into a single
No,
detail, but we
most
just present
important,
most important
relevant.
bullets.
Highlights, yeah.
Highlight the most important things in the master plan, yes. We'll do that, yes.
I think for me personally, maybe other people might have other things that are interesting to them, but kind of like to see the layout, you know, have them talk to us about what's the land use and how all of that works out here.
Visuals are
Yeah,
good, what
'cause
it's gonna look like in 5 years,
No, we'll prepare a
10 years.
PowerPoint presentation.
Since I'm new, the only visual I have is just like driving around the outside of the airport,
Yeah.
little parts I've been in.
No, we can,
Map's right
we can
behind
give
you.
you a tour anytime
Yeah.
you want. Just call me
And they're old.
Being
we'll
run
give
off
you a
by the
tour,
chief.
We'll take you to the tower. And,
That'd be cool.
yeah, no, let me know, and whoever wants, we can give you a tour, we can.
I think,
we can-
yeah, and it's good you're saying that, because I think with all the improvements recent improvements would be good. You know, maybe we could all go
That
together,
would
it'd
be
be even
good.
better.
Yeah.
If you wanna
That
do
way
it
we
as a,
can have
as a
a better
group, or
understanding.
you wanna do it by individually, it's up to you, whatever you want, we can accommodate.
Group would be good, that
Yeah.
way we're all
Yeah.
the same, you don't have to be.
Okay,
repeating.
maybe when we have the master plan presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, maybe after the meeting, we can arrange for you, and then we can take you around.
Yeah.
Drive you around the airport so
Get
you
a
can see
trolley or
it.
something.
Huh?
Get a trolley or something.
One of those meetings where these guys don't have an agenda item and you kind of passes over, you say, we can have that there at that particular
Okay.
meeting.
They can look at it, yeah.
Yeah.
And probably the best thing to do is
Yeah.
after, after the master plan presentation. If
Yeah.
we have a master plan presentation, then you can see it, and then we go to the airfield, and we go to the
Fresh in
website.
our minds,
It's
yeah.
fresh in your mind, then you can visualize better what we're talking about. Okay, let's do that. It's a master plan, presentation to include, a field trip.
Yeah.
Signature from the church.
Bring your notes.
I remembered what I was trying to say earlier, this thing with the Legion in Florida, is there any hope that that's gonna come back?
What I know about Allegiant is that they don't have any additional aircraft.
Aircraft.
Yeah, I
They don't
remember
have
that's
any
what y'all
aircraft.
told us last time, I was just wondering if anything had came up
That's what they
since.
said, right?
That is correct.
We last inquired.
They don't have enough aircraft to add that flight from Laredo to Orlando.
Okay.
So all this Allegiant was just to Vegas?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is basically the biggest. But they increase, you see in the month of June,
Mhm.
that's a plus 18%, that's because one additional flight on Tuesday. And vacation.
Right.
And for us, going to Vegas on June and July, the heat is not a problem for us, so. The same temperature.
We don't vote, but we go to Vegas. Okay.
Okay, moving on to the cargo. The cargo, Mr. Chairman, and board members, we're not doing very well. All the numbers are on the negative, and it's gonna continue like that. And as you may know, the NAFTA agreement, do we have a NAFTA agreement? I don't know if we have one or not.
They're still there, but they're working on the USMCA, so right now.
That's the new one, so that's what is on hold. Everybody is on kind of as the wait and see attitude.
Whatever.
So
Yeah.
you know that, right? Everybody's in that situation, so. And that's what is reflected on the cargo.
And I would imagine that it's the major players that have maybe decreased the volume of cargo they brought in, you know, like Kalita and these folks, FedEx.
Mhm.
I mean, they're the ones that really bring in the big numbers.
Right.
Amerijet.
But we're working and trying to see if we can increase the cargo here, Laredo. Like we were saying in the past, Laredo International Airport is becoming a cargo hub, so that's what we're gonna continue doing it. And also, we're also promoting the FIS, the Federal Inspection Station.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get more airports and more people to use the airplanes and to use the
But you still only have limited use on there, they haven't expanded the 5 types of commodity, or they only, certain locations is very limited.
yeah,
so.
that's the best limited right now. And we are limited to 8 airports right now, but everybody's working on.
Is somebody
make
using it right now?
I'm sorry?
Is somebody using it?
Yes.
Yes?
Mhm.
How many planes or?
Do you have the numbers on the
Operations.
reports on that? I
Yeah,
think that we
we-
requested it from Elsie.
We do have a report,
Cause I know it increased for a while,
Yes,
but
it-
we had the issue with the bridges, but that
Right.
was last year. And then, so I know that we should
we'll,
have numbers on
if-
there right now.
If you don't mind, we can provide a report in the next meeting, actually, next meeting, FIS, activity.
You know, something's kind of interesting is on the cargo, the one that's constant, remains steady there is UPS, pretty big.
Right.
Not as big as Federal Express or whatever, but it's kind of interesting that of all of them, that one's like really steady there. I wonder why. Interesting to, if you have a contact with them, to ask them.
They outsource a lot to DHL and all the other guys, so they can maintain a good constant relation. FedEx is exclusive, so
Gotcha.
they kind of maintain with all the other guys, so
Yeah.
they have a direct plane.
So UPS outsources?
No, the other guys, UPS, they use UPS as a plane, DHL, and then US Mail sometimes and so forth, so they use them directly, so. And the FedEx kind of interferes with the other client base, so these guys are kind of neutral, so they kind of offer their flight
Yeah,
space.
if DHL wants to send a package through UPS,
Yeah.
that's not a problem.
Good for them, man. They must have a better business model than the rest of them, right?
Yeah, probably.
Whatever it is.
Real estate,
Mhm.
doesn't change much.
No, not at all.
It's unusual how it's
Usually they have a
exactly
small plane.
4.8,
Yeah.
3 occasions, 4.
But UPS is doing good and FedEx is, 2 airplanes, so.
But there's 5 that are also, they increased from May to June substantially. Aeronaves, Amerijet,
Everett's went from
Berry.
150,000 to 1.2 million, and then they rose to 1.6.
It might pick up a little bit on the next month, and that's when, especially the new models, the automobile industry, that's when they change everything for the new year, for the new models. That's when I was told that in the May months of the summer is kind of the end of the that year model, so then later on it will pick up
For the new year.
for the new year, and that's when probably, hopefully the cargo will increase. But we'll keep track of that and keep you informed about cargo activities. But on the next meeting, we'll provide that
Like
information.
Omar requested, because it's really important for us, especially
Yes.
to report to our members, because I really want to know
Yes.
what, if it's an increase or decrease. I know there's been some increase last year, but I don't know if it's starting to decrease or not. And
Right.
right now with all this trade on the forefront, and with this political environment right now, we don't know what the
Yeah,
status is right now.
and a lot of people, it's just wait and see.
Yeah.
You know that, that's why a lot of people don't know what's gonna happen to this United States, Mexico, Canada deal. Yeah. Moving on into the next item, Mr. Chairman, we go to the fuel report.
I would imagine if.
And the fuel report is tied to the cargo activity, so.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, we have, same thing, minus 22% on all fuel. And the next item is the delinquent report. You ask us to include the days, over 90 days and 60 days and things like that. So, we added that column. If that suffice, that enough, or would you like to do different detail?
well,
Or different format?
have you used, I mean, for the ones that are over 90, what's going on? Is there other resources we can do to
Well,
pay?
we, believe me, we try very hard, and Mr. Chairman was here, and he knows all the charges and everything that we do and the invoicing, but, we'll get it, we'll get it.
From Landon Harvard, we'll drive over there.
Yes, we'll send the chief of police to knock
Department
on the door.
Department of Public Safety, what's up with that?
Really?
Right?
Yes.
No, we're gonna try to, clean it up, all this.
What's going on, Steve? What's going on, Steve McGraw? What's his name? Gee. Now, I'm curious, and both myself and Ms. Villarreal have handled this before. Are we still sending out default letters after the?
Yes, we continue.
That's
sending
after what, after 30 days, or?
We send the default letter, we send the email, we call them and all that.
But there has to be something else, I mean, because they're used to just getting an email, a letter, and they're just doing this, so
They've
what
been
else
over 90
is
days,
being
yeah,
done,
so-
or do you have
We'll-
somebody who?
We'll send the chief of police to knock on the door.
Yeah, that'll be better.
They're
No,
gonna give her a
but-
check.
But really, do you have somebody assigned to do the collections, to do more
Yes,
enforcement?
we
or-
do have somebody assigned, and, for your information, I don't know if you, we have an administrative assistant too, Manuel De Luna.
Okay.
He used to be, the City of Laredo Finance Department as an accountant, so now he's here to helping us,
Yeah.
so he's gonna be working on getting all that.
He's taking over Elsie's
Position, they used to be the old
Right.
LC's position, administrative assistant
Yes.
too. Manuel is gonna be doing that.
Yeah, our old
Our old
position.
positions, right.
Yes, your old position, exactly.
So I
So
guess-
now we have a person that is gonna be fully dedicated
Yeah,
to all that,
for-
yes.
to this,
Yes,
okay,
we'll
good.
get it done.
If they can, I think, elaborate more, I know we don't wanna make it more lengthy, but I think the committee, at least, I hope I speak for everybody here, is that we'd rather see that if we did send a default letter, let's put that on there.
Okay.
So if our respective council persons ever ask
Right.
us, we can say, hey, they're making an effort because they've actually sent them default letters versus us
You need
saying,
to add-
well, they're just emailing them. And then it's gonna look bad on Mr. Miller and the staff, so if they can, the new person, make sure they include that. It's a default or they're in talk with legal. I think at one point we were seeing all that, correct? Maybe when Elsie was handling the
Yes.
report, I'm not too sure.
We'll include that on the next,
Yeah.
or we have sent a letter of default, we'll add it as a back,
I noticed
report.
Avis is, they finally caught up.
Right, yeah.
They're not on the
But they're not
list.
on the list.
Something happened.
Little by little, we're getting there.
Yeah,
so-
that was-
Yeah, but
I
we'll-
remember years ago, the list was,
Right.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
3 or 4 times, and the numbers were
No, we had,
huge.
yeah.
I remember, there was,
Mr.
I mean,
Manuel
it was
de Luna now
astronomical.
with assistant, all the support
And
personnel.
Amerijet, I mean, their activity increased,
Mhm.
That's what
but
he
they're
called
not
them out,
paying.
yeah.
Yes.
And they're over 90 days on top of that, and that's
Yes.
related to the FIS landing, so.
Yeah.
So there's 8 FIS landings that are paying, and then 7 are over 90 days, so.
Yes, we're in conversations with Amerijet, and I'm personally calling Amerijet to give it a month,
Is there something in their agreement or something that states if you don't?
I'm about to send an email with all the backup information, with
Yeah.
all the ordinance and what they're required to do and all that.
Put a boot on their plane so they can't take it
Yeah.
Then our stats are gonna go down.
Yeah.
No, we
need to have-
that's a priority, and we were discussing it this morning, and we'll handle it, we'll get it done.
The last question, at least from me, is, I noticed that Mr. Hoffman is not on here anymore. Is, what's the status with him? Is he up to speed? Is he out of the airport, or what's happening with him?
Mr. Hoffman used to be,
Will Hoffman?
Will Hoffman.
Jet
He was the
Sales?
biggest one.
Jet Sales.
Yeah. We
Still here.
settled legally with
Is-
everything that was
is-
Was he?
outstanding?
Is he up to date,
There.
everything? The
If he's not
company?
in this list means he
This-
has paid everything.
Is it raining outside?
Getting
water or something?
I hope so.
If you don't see it on the list.
Well,
so
yeah,
that means
Something
that-
happened.
That's
Good.
major, because he was always the most problematic tenant that would show up in this report. Not just that he was past due, but it was under legal review, there's lawsuits, so that's
Maybe
good.
provide
That's-
an update, just,
a good thing.
just.
Well,
so-
we win some and we lose some, so that one is a
Right.
win.
Yeah,
we're doing
that's a good
that
one, because that was like, that's been happening for years. And I know when Mario was here, that's when I saw this report get better, because he started really pushing. I'm sure Mr. Miller would do the same
Mhm.
on collections, and now it's starting to pick up again, so yeah.
No, we'll talk to Mr. De Luna and I'll talk to Elsie and convey when we talk here. And do better on the collection on all the, try to improve and do better than this. Not to have this delinquent report like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay, very good.
Okay, next item, Mr. Chairman, is, status report on the construction of the cargo apron phase 11 and 12. That one, the Ring Construction continue to work on the concrete. Right now, we're about 50%, we're on schedule. We don't have any issues, anything, except that we continue working.
Weather's been good for
Well, the weather's been
construction,
good, they pour in concrete midnight, and they finish by 8 o'clock, and it's too hot, so right now, but we need to move a little bit faster, because next September, that's when we start getting the rain, so. But we're about 50% on the phase 11 and 12. And then on the next phase, the status report on the construction cargo apron phase 13. If you see the map over there on that wall, that's the orange area.
Mhm.
That's the phase 13. We already have received bids, and we asking, we're already talking to FAA for a possible grant.
Okay.
So we're already submitting to Mr. Marcelino Sanchez, the PM with FAA, for a possible grant to include that phase 13.
That's
Is
in
it
the
happening?
southwest side of the airport, right?
The orange, yes, the orange area. Yeah, 11 and 12 is the blue and the green. All the blue area is 11 and the green is 12. And the next phase is the orange, that's phase 13, and we already have our bid. We have our bid from Green Construction. So we're submitting, that's what I say, we're submitting the grant application for the next.
Well, it's
phase.
interesting, yeah, so, okay.
How big is approximately, how many dollars is?
So you're talking about $9 million.
So then the other two must be close to that.
The other two are 11 million.
Alejandro, in the process of getting the approval on the grant and council and all that stuff, will the prices hold?
We have 90 days to award the contract. That's typically what we do.
So the bidders agree that they'll hold their numbers for 90 days?
For 90 days, yes. Mhm.
Okay.
So that's what we usually put on the specs, and they agree to hold the prices for 90 days. So we have to go to city council in August, September, by October, we need to go to city council and award the contract, but by that time, we're also working on the grant.
Okay.
Getting a grant approved and signed by city manager.
Gotcha.
What's the match on that?
10%?
10%.
FAA 90 and City of Laredo, 10%.
I recall we used to be at 5, right, some
Which,
years back?
that's almost $1 million from us.
Yeah.
It's still what a deal.
Yeah, it is a good deal, yeah. Because we're pouring 17 inches of concrete and 6 inches of a black bank.
Yeah.
So $1 million, you don't get a lot. So this project, they have to be 7, 9, $10 million to get areas like that.
Nice.
And that's it, Mr. Chairman, regarding the staff reports.
All righty. Any other questions or comments?
I've got one I was asked about, I think I might have talked to you on the phone once about it, but I just want to touch base on it. One of the councilmen asked me about what goes into having the tower be available for flights, more hours.
Oh,
24.
I think it's not 24 hours now.
No, yeah,
There's
it's
a-
not-
there's
it's
a
not, right?
window there where
No.
it's not, but how do you expand that? Like, what is it right now? When does it cut off?
okay. A year ago, the tower was open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. in the morning to midnight. That was Monday to Friday. Saturdays were from 7 to 8 at night, 7 a.m. to 8, and Sunday from 8 to 8. So we have some issues, especially on weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays. The tower was closing at 8 o'clock at night. We have the late flight from American United. Those flights that were getting here at 11:30. So we have some issues with the weather. There was nobody at the tower to provide the weather report. There will be cancellations and things like that. So what we prepare a report to FAA and the air traffic control towers and FAA and with FAA, and they saw that the operation, you need to have 4 operations per hour. That's the magic number, 4 operations per hour. And we had it, and then FAA agreed. FYI, the tower doesn't belong to the airport. It's an FAA contract tower. FAA pays for the employees. It's a subcontract. Actually, it's a contract tower. Robinson Aviation is the company that is in charge of the tower. They man the tower, but they are being paid by FAA. A long time, many years ago, the airport department, the City of Laredo, was in charge of the tower. The city was paying for that, so we're no longer paying for that. So going back to the report, we provide a report, talk to FAA, so and we have enough operation that now the tower is from 6 o'clock in the morning to midnight every day. That helps us tremendously, especially on Saturdays and Sundays with American or United. So when the last flight is from 10 and 10:30 or 11. So right now, the tower is closed from midnight to 6 o'clock in the morning. We're trying to get as cheap as possible to get the tower to be open 24/7. One of the things that we were told is there are only 2 or 3 towers in the whole world, FAA contract towers, that are open 24/7. FAA is paying for that. The towers that are open 24/7, those are airport towers. And those, so that might be a little problem.
That's where we don't have that leverage, that they don't fall under the airport as far as they're not employed by us, correct? FAA.
And
They're employed by
one of
FAA.
the issues that we're having right now, but you saw the cargo report. So that's, if we increase the cargo air flights and things like that, then FAA, we need to have that matching number to 4 operations per hour. And include that. And sometimes you hear cargo airplanes at 3 o'clock o'clock or 4 o'clock at night, that's when they get here. And usually the cargo planes, they fly at night, you know that because of the fuel.
Yeah.
So it's better, it's more economical to fly at night when it's cool and night than in the middle of the heat. So that's why if you come here to the airport, especially after 6 or 7 o'clock at night, that's when we start getting all the cargo airplanes, also coming at night because of the fuel. Flying an airplane there's a lot of variables involved, but
Yeah.
one of those is the heat, the temperature of the air.
Yeah, it's interesting how you have some that you receive first thing in the morning, because they've been flying at night, and they get here right when you start.
Yes. Federal Express, usually they get here by 6 or 7.
Yeah.
When the tower opens, Federal
Yeah.
Express is here. They landed, they're landing, because they want the tower to be open. Even though we have a runway with ILF with an interim landing system, they can, if there's some bad weather or something, they can use it or do something. But that's the main reason, we're trying to, one day probably we'll get it 24/7. But, the FAA said, well, maybe the city or the airport will say, okay, we'll pay for these hours, and FAA, you pay for these hours. That might be something that it can be done. But in the meantime, we were told there are only 2 or 3 FAA contracted towers that are open 24/7.
Very good. Good conversation. Yeah. Anything else before we move on to the next item?
Okay?
Okay, so, let's move on to resolution. It reads, consider a recommendation to mayor and city council to ratify the submission of a grant application and if offered, to execute grant agreement with the United States Department of Transportation under the Small Community Air Service Development Program in the amount of $850,000 for the purpose to support new airline service at the Laredo International Airport for the Laredo region, and authorizing the co-interim city managers to execute all necessary documents and resulting from the award. No local match is required. So this is something that's already been, I guess, approved by city council?
It's going to city council.
Okay.
Next, city council, it's on the agenda.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is a grant that is for to support a new airline service, but this is only US, only within the United States. This is
So the
not-
ones that are already flying, or a new one?
No, get a new airline, maybe some other airline to come to Laredo.
Okay.
But this grant is only within the United States. They cannot be used for international flight. It cannot be used for Mexico City
Yeah.
flight. So that's what the difference of this grant is. So we submitted the grant, and it's going to the city council. And it's
We're gonna put any money out, man.
Oh,
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
man.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, take that one right away, man.
And I recall, Elizabeth, I don't really remember this, but I recall this being a much smaller grant. I guess it's grown over the years.
It's
This is like
grown.
it's like a marketing type of, right, to promote the airline services?
Well, it's
Or it's to try to secure additional airline services?
it's both. It's a combination of both secure the airline marketing or any expenses that
Right.
will be
Win-win
incurred.
for us.
Yeah, they will be incurred to bring another airline. And,
Maybe Southwest.
Mhm.
yep.
Southwest, Frontier, those locals, JetBlue.
Yeah.
Frontier is doing very well. Spirit, so those, I don't know, those are the airlines that probably will go.
So all this stuff that it lists off here, 2 years waiving various fees and whatnot.
Right.
And all that.
Yeah.
Would be used as an incentive to attract this.
It's like a subsidy.
Do you have one yet, or you get it and then you go after?
We have some talks to different airlines.
But it's
We
not
cannot
solid
disclose-
yet.
No, it's nothing solid, and
When
we
you get
cannot
this,
disclose it.
you might land one of them.
That's the intent.
It doesn't have to be guaranteed, so you get to get this and then use it as best you can.
Right.
If you don't use it, it goes back. Is that how
We
it
lose
is?
it, right?
Well, we're gonna use it.
Really?
Yeah, we use it. They always use
Use it.
No, no money back.
No.
Somebody will take you up on
Yeah.
it for sure.
Well, that's the idea.
Very cagey. Very cagey.
And this grant is exclusively for us, you don't have to go in a pool with other people, it's just for the city of Laredo, right?
That's for the Laredo only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It's-
He has to
Why
be
does it
really
say
careful now.
ratify?
It's not just us.
Be-
You too.
Because I think they had to submit the application, I would imagine, to meet some deadline, and it wasn't brought to the
Yes.
committee.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes the timing is there, you know, for, especially for
No,
grants.
no.
So
City
sometime-
council is
That you
when?
have to-
When's the next meeting?
So next Monday.
This Monday already?
Yes, it is next Monday.
So they go through the regular process because of the timing issue, and I'm just making these assumptions because of the ratification.
Right.
Do you need,
It's not like a free airplane that costs us
Yeah.
$500,000.
yeah. Should we take action on this? I mean, it's a ratification, I don't know.
Motion to approve, motion.
There you go.
Approve and support. Mr. Gonzalez, here a second?
Second?
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
You know what,
All right.
the last one, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr.
No, no, I'll go ahead and finish, I'll wait till the end.
Number 2, under resolutions, we have a, consider a recommendation to mayor and city council to authorize the co-interim city managers to submit a grant application and if offered, to execute grant agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation Aviation Division under the routine airport maintenance program in the amount of $50,000 for the purpose of airside and landside maintenance at the Laredo International Airport, and authorizing the co-interim city managers to execute all necessary documents resulting from the award. The local match in the amount of $50,000 for this project is available in the Airport Operations Fund, so the total project cost is $100,000. So it's basically dollar for dollar match.
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
And I know just for the committee's information, this grant has been around for many years, and
Many
it's
years.
been like an annual thing that we've
That is
got.
correct, Mr. Chairman.
And it's never moved from 100,000.
No.
It's always been 50-50.
And, yes, exactly, and, the majority of this grant is for airfield, maintenance.
Gotcha.
That's what we use it for, painting and, airfield maintenance, that's what we use.
When we pump in 50, we get another 50.
Yes.
It's a
Good
good grant,
money.
yeah. Absolutely, especially out there, I mean, they have to constantly.
We're gonna spend it all.
Oh, on maintenance.
No
yeah.
worries.
Oh,
No worries.
Yeah. And it's for a good cause, because it, you know, that's one of our main priorities, to make sure
That is
that
good.
airfield is safe
Yeah.
for
That is
the
correct, Mr.
community,
Chairman.
pilots and everybody using it. Any other questions on this item? Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Villarreal, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor, same sign. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right. And then we got a motion here on the table, discussion with possible action to elect chairman and vice chairman. I know that this has been on and off, and at times we either haven't had a meeting.
Yes,
or
Mr.
we
Chairman,
haven't had
by,
a full.
by ordinance, correct me if I'm wrong, we're required to elect a new chairman and a vice chairman every year.
Every year?
Every year, right? Yes.
Usually it's October
Do all
1st.
members have to be present? Or do it,
I guess.
Last time it was brought up, we haven't had a quorum since.
Right.
And that's why
Yeah.
we just been, you know, it's
And-
been a while.
And that was my, I think, myself and maybe someone else had made that comment that we would have liked to have the full committee here present. I know that's been kind of difficult to have all 9 members here.
Isn't that more to do with the summer though, like the other things I've been on, your attendance is very thin in the summer.
Yeah,
I would
it
expect
could
to
be,
rectify
people are
it somehow.
out on vacation and stuff like that, but,
If you wanna tape, we'll table it on, and then we'll propose the same
let's
motion
do
for the
this,
next
unless
agenda
the
item.
committee has another suggestion, I would like to, and I hate to say this, but maybe postpone it, because I also wanna see a copy of the ordinance.
Sure.
It's been a while, and I don't recall
We'll
the
send you a
the
copy of the
language,
ordinance.
because,
Everybody would like a copy?
Send it through email
Yeah.
before so that we come and we're ready to.
Ashley, if you could,
Vote.
handle that,
Yeah,
please.
we'll provide the background information.
And that
the
way we're
copy
all
of the ordinance.
familiar, because for all I know, we've been violating the ordinance for years, you know, and it is what it
Because
is.
some, I
That
think
way
it has
we
to
can-
be all present.
Yeah.
I think
But
every committee's
sometimes
different.
it's very
Everyone's
difficult to
different.
get everybody. I
Right.
think it's the majority, a quorum, but again,
Every committee's different.
Every committee's different.
We'll provide the background information
Yeah,
regarding
let's
the
do
ordinance
that, and maybe
the
we can
election of
knock
a
it
chairman
out
and
at
a
the
vice
next
chairman,
meeting.
yes.
That way I can also maybe email the group and kind of encourage everybody to attend, because it's an important item we have to address. And then also, if y'all can circle back with me on the language, I may wanna make a recommendation on some additional language, just so
Okay.
it's a little more complete,
Well,
at least in my eyes.
I'll make the motion to table.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Gilpin, open.
Second.
Your second by Mr. Cortez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
But
Thank
table
you.
to bring back next meeting, or wait until you let us know?
Let's try to bring it back at the next meeting.
Okay.
Between now and then,
We'll be
we'll
in
start
contact.
polling the members,
Okay.
see if we can get everybody in attendance.
Place it on the next
I
meeting.
have a week-long,
Oh, you're doing that
yeah, out of town,
during that
the
Wednesday?
11th, the September
Okay.
11th.
The next Wednesday
Well,
is the
well,
11th.
let's see what we can do. We have to call a special meeting, and it doesn't have to be a Wednesday of the second.
September 11 is the next meeting.
You know, we
9/11.
can call it any time. Maybe we can round everybody up.
Okay.
Right.
And at the end, if it's 7 members, you know,
That's it.
we'll do it.
Depending.
Because we can't keep postponing it. We have to handle it.
Mhm.
Depending on how it reads.
Yes, yeah. So I'd like to give some input on that.
Sure, Mr. Chairman, we'll provide the information and we'll mail you the ordinance.
Great.
The requirements, and we have, it has to be for to elect a chairman.
Very good.
And a vice chairman for the Laredo Airport Advisory Board.
Okay.
We gladly do that, yes.
Appreciate it. Okay. Any other comments or maybe requests to place additional items next meeting? I think we've addressed some of those things already.
Nothing, just FSI, make sure the FSIS reports on it.
Yes, we'll include the FIS report, and we'll include in the next meeting, or? you
Yes,
want-
the next meeting.
The next meeting, okay.
This
We'll
area
include that
has a-
into the reports, the staff reports, we include the last 2 or 3 years of the FIS, okay?
I have a request for the next meeting. Could you bring us a list of all vacant properties? I know that some have been vacant for quite a long time. I know it's because of policy that's in place, but I look at buildings
Mhm.
day in, day out that are
It's lost
potential, where we could be potentially earning money for the airport, and because of some regulations, you know,
Right.
appraisals and all that.
Mhm.
But I think we really need to look at it, because you know how it is when there's empty buildings? They just, you know, you can't keep them standing there for a long time.
No, it's not good when you have an empty
I
building.
know, so,
Especially with we lose revenue.
Right, so we
But
we
also,
really
the
need to look
building
at it.
deteriorate much
Yes.
faster
Yeah.
when
Yes.
it's empty. Yes.
So we really need to take a look at that.
We'll we'll provide a list of all the vacant
I believe
properties.
there's 2, maybe 3 properties
We-
along Hillside and
We're talking
Bartlett.
about,
Mhm.
clarification, Mr. Chairman, buildings only, or, you know, all including lots?
Potential
property-
buildings that are already,
Only
you can
buildings,
include
only-
that, but I'm concerned for the existing buildings that are vacant
Okay,
right now.
okay, we'll include buildings only.
I'm just, whatever the
Would you,
committee,
uh,
would you
might
like
as well
everything?
To the
Do
properties,
everything?
why not?
Okay.
I mean,
Let's
why
just
not? We're already
encompass
doing it.
everything.
Because that's all potential
Properties.
income.
All properties,
All
in
properties.
general, any property that
Yes.
is vacant,
Yes,
including vacant lot, because.
Yes.
okay.
Because, yeah.
because it can be leased out.
Correct.
Let's cover it all.
FYI, we also, RSNH, our consultant, we're also working on a land use development plan.
Okay.
That's also, we're working on that, and also we're working on updating, rather, the noise contour maps.
Oh, okay.
So we're also working on that, on the noise exposure maps updates with RSNH, and also we are working on a land use development plan.
You know, if you need to wait on that request that I was making pertaining to master plan, I don't know the timing of that with respect to whatever you're working on, but
The master plan is already done, that's every 5 years, I will provide what is the existing master plan, but
and then
we
when
are.
you finish that, we might adjust it a little bit.
Right, and the thing is, we are going to have public input, we're gonna have some, we have to have some public meetings. It's gonna be probably next month, and everybody will be invited to attend those meetings for the land use and for the noise. Because we have to, that's a requirement.
That's important too, because I know at one point, like especially on the west side, there were certain restrictions we had to, I guess, lease out some of those properties or even sell them. And if it's very
Yes.
restrictive, then
Mhm.
maybe that's why we're not getting a good turnaround as far as leasing or selling properties out there.
Mhm.
Non-aeronautical
Right.
properties.
Mhm.
You know, where they were exclusive to only medical
That is-
use, et cetera, to kind of go in line with Mercy Hospital.
We'll prepare that, and we'll bring it for next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I would, and then my last request is along the same lines as maybe, not maybe, but we should add, at the last Roman numeral to, right before adjournment, request by staff members to place at the next meeting.
We forgot that, yes, we need to include that on the agenda.
I know
On
you've
every
done it in
agenda-
the past.
On every agenda, we need to have
Let's
that
have it
request, yes.
Very
We
good.
apologize for that, but this
So we covered a lot in 1 hour,
Less,
less than an hour.
50 minutes.
Yes.
Motion adjourned then.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.